ThunderCats Roar, the very mention of its name is enough to send chills down the spines of animation fans everywhere. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, let me kind of sum it up for you. Basically, the beloved 80s cartoon ThunderCats is getting a reboot, and many fans are super mad about the more comedic style the reboot is taking, saying that it doesn't really match up with the essence of what ThunderCats is and what it's meant to be. The whole backlash has sparked this debate over something called the CalArts animation style that seems to be pretty prevalent in cartoons today, and people are saying it's dumbing down animation as a whole. So what is CalArts exactly? Is it evil? Well, I figured I'd talk about it, but instead of just me standing here blabbing, I'm gonna make the Sword of Omens from ThunderCat Roar while I'm talking to you about it. That way, you got something nice to look at, because I'm just a good guy like that. Let's go. So let me just say that I'm not hugely invested in ThunderCats. The original 80s version was a little before my time, and the 2011 version, while I heard great things about it, did come out in the final year of university for me, so I never really had the time to get around to it. You might think that I don't have an opinion in this debate because I don't love ThunderCats that much, but I just think I'll be able to make a fair point because I don't have any bias towards one version or another. So let's start at the beginning. People are mad about this CalArts thing, but what is CalArts exactly? CalArts is short for California Institute of the Arts, and the reason that is relevant is because many of the cartoons that have gotten hugely popular over the last few years have been created by people that attended CalArts. Quite often they even attended together and hang out in the same social circles. A good example of this is Patrick McHale and Alex Hirsch, friends and collaborators who have worked on shows like Adventure Time, Fish Hooks, Over the Garden Wall, Gravity Falls, and The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. So what's wrong with animators attending the same school, hanging out together, and also working on projects together? Well, take a look at some of those characters again. The simple eyes, the undetailed mouth, the long wobbly fingers and limbs, they all look pretty damn similar. The term CalArts has become notorious as a way to describe that simplistic art style that's been popping up in many shows that all mysteriously have been created by people that attended CalArts at around the same time. And what other show uses that style of animation? ThunderCats Roar. So I guess the question then becomes, is there anything inherently wrong with a show having a simplistic style? Does a style like that mean the show itself will be simple in terms of story arc and plot and character development? Gravity Falls is a show that's often lumped in with this CalArts criticism, and rightly so, it does use that style a lot, but I like to think Gravity Falls would have gotten popular without it. If you watch my channel, you know I love Gravity Falls specifically because of its complicated storyline involving different dimensions, time travel, and these elaborate wacky codes. It's been compared to shows like Twin Peaks, which is anything but simple, and it's actually loved by many, including Del Toro, who praised the series on Twitter, and he directed movies like Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth. So the show isn't really simple in its storyline or plot, and a lot of the other shows in the CalArts controversy are pretty strange as well, but I guess you have to ask yourself, would they have gotten popular if they didn't use the CalArts style?
Now might be a great time to thank my generous patrons, of which there are not many, but you guys did help me buy the wood that I need to make this, and the paint that I need to paint it, and the arms that I need to swing it. If you like this channel and you want me to build more stuff, Patreon, link below. So there are lots of cartoons that use a similar style, but to be honest, that's not a new problem. Cartoons in the 80s, while they didn't look like the cartoons we have today, did still use similar styles to each other. They all looked very similar. No matter what era you're in, the reason that cartoons use similar styles is for the same reason that movie franchises still make buttloads of money. When people go to the movies, they're often unsure about what they want to see, and if there's a choice between some new movie and say Transformers 9, they're probably going to go with Transformers. Sequels and reboots and all that kind of stuff, they work because they're new enough to be exciting to the audience, but not so new that they're a risk. Same type of thing is happening with CalArts. When people see a new show with an animation style they recognize, they're more likely to give it a go because it's something they're familiar with. So ThunderCats Roar uses a simple art style that is prevalent in lots of other shows, but neither of those are really the problem with it for me. The problem is they took a relatively serious show and they rebooted it as a wacky, zany romp, but they didn't really change their demographic. Sure, the original 80s Thundercats was a bit darker and grittier in tone, but it was still directed at children. Children of roughly the same age that this new version is directed at, and making it wacky and zany for no real reason is kind of like implying children can't handle the themes that the old show had. Or maybe it's some other thing, I don't know. I look forward to seeing you all argue with each other in the comments. Okay, cue the overly dramatic music and you can see the finished sword. So that's the Sword of Omens from ThunderCat Roar, made while talking about CalArts animation controversy. Hey, if you want to buy this sword, there's an email below in the description. We can sort something out, make an offer. There are some mistakes with the sword, I will admit, because I was actually talking to the camera while I was making it. That wasn't a bit. Every now and then I did mismeasure something or like paint out the lines because I was too busy talking about this animation stuff. But it's okay, it's pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new here, subscribe and all that. Bye.